the real reason that we lose or gain weight. And if you're curious about working with one of us, go ahead and click the link below to learn more. But the real reason comes down to something so simple that most of us just can't even wrap our heads around it. Because we're not going to escape the laws of thermodynamics. You basically get two big choices. You're either going to eat less or you're going to absorb less. Absorb less is typically the food type. You know, you're gonna concentrate on eating more high fiber foods, more micronutrient dense foods, more proteins, more fruits, more vegetables, more whole foods. And if you just eat less, it's just eating less. It's just less. And now I know that seems so simple, and it might be like, I've tried that. It didn't work for me. Well, it just doesn't matter. For the hard gainer or for the person who just has a terrible time losing fat, if you can eat nothing and not lose fat, then we need to stick you in a lab, because that means that you have solved world hunger. And if you cannot gain any weight, no matter what, no matter how much you eat, then that means we also need to stick you in a lab, because that means that you have solved the obesity epidemic. You're just not going to escape the laws of thermodynamics when it comes right down to it. What really gets in the way is the emotional side of it. You know, you get stressed out, or you want to avoid some pain that you're not willing to confront or deal with. You know, whatever is too painful to deal with might get covered up by food. There's a lot of different things here that can get in the way of this thing. Also, just habits in general. This is a very when it comes to the emotional side of eating, that's where things get lost. But on the whole, the real reason, on the bottom level, it's eat less or absorb less. You're just not going to escape the laws of thermodynamics. And this isn't that hard to wrap your head around. If, for instance, if you had 1,000 calories of mashed potatoes and 1,000 calories of peanuts, all right, you're not going to absorb the entire 1,000 calories of the peanuts. You might absorb the entire 1,000 calories of the mashed potatoes. This is what I mean by food type or food, or either eat less or eat better. But the ultimate reason is thermodynamics. Your body is going to be negotiating with those calories to figure out what it's going to do with them. And if it has enough, it's going to store them, because your body is your body's only like maybe 100, 200 years, maybe even 50 years into this whole having an abundance of food around it all the time, whereas the modern day humans are like 200,000 years old. So you're talking about a genetic line that has had a pretty heavy predisposition to holding on to fat. If you think about it, we're all just a bunch of camels. We're just storing this up and then using it at a later date. So if you really want to, but anyway, I digress. If you really want to get a hold of this thing, you get two options. You're either going to eat better or you're going to eat less. And ultimately, no matter what, you're going to have to absorb less calories. And the easiest way to absorb less calories is do both of those. Do both of them. Eat less and eat better. Wild idea, right? It's almost too simple to believe, but it is something that you can do if you are willing to impose that upon yourself. If you're curious about working with one of us and learning more about how we might apply strategies to you so that you can navigate this whole nutrition exercise world, go ahead and click the link below and we'll help.